Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a report so thrilling it makes reading tax laws seem like a vacation. Get ready, because we're looking at Power Integration's recent filing. And let's just say there were some votes cast that might surprise you. In Power Integration's just held their yearly meeting, and we're going to break down who got elected, how people voted on executive pay, and even a proposal to split the chairman and CEO roles. Before we dive in, if you appreciate getting the straight story from these reports, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come join us and share your thoughts. Alright, let's jump right into what happened at Power Integration's annual meeting this year. They covered a few key items that all stockholders got a vote on. We're going to break down the important votes and what they mean for the company. First up, the election of directors. Stockholders voted to elect 8 people to the board of directors. Wendy Arianzo, for example, got over 50 million votes in favour, with only about 2 million votes withheld. Balu Balakrishnan also received a very large amount of votes at more than 50 million. These directors will serve until the next annual meeting in 2026. This is fairly standard for these meetings, but it's always good to know who's steering the ship. Next on the agenda was an advisory vote on executive compensation, basically asking shareholders if they thought the top executives were being paid fairly. This is a non-binding vote, meaning the company doesn't have to change anything based on the outcome, but it's a good way to gauge and advise a pretty big chunk of shareholders who aren't happy with how the executives are being paid. It's a sign that there might be some dissatisfaction among investors. Then they voted to ratify the selection of Deloitte & Touche as their independent accounting firm for the current fiscal year. This is essentially a formality, confirming that the company's audit committee has chosen a reputable firm to check the books. The vote was overwhelmingly in favour, with over 53 million shares voting yes. So everyone seems to be on board with their accounting firm. Another item on the agenda was to eliminate supermajority voting requirements in the company's restated certificate of incorporation. In simple terms, this means it will be easier to pass certain important decisions. Previously, it might have required a very high percentage of votes to approve big changes, making it difficult for even popular proposals to pass. This change makes it easier for the company to move forward with decisions that have majority support. Over 52 million shares voted in favour of this. The stockholders also voted on a plan to increase the maximum amount of money that can be given to non-employee directors. This applies to equity awards and cash, pushing the limit from $300,000 to $750,000 each year. Basically, they are saying the board members can get paid up to this much per year. This change was approved with over 50 million votes in favour. Now this is where things get interesting. There was a stockholder proposal asking the board of directors to split the roles of chairman and CEO, meaning one person wouldn't hold both positions. This is a common debate in corporate governance. Some people believe that having separate individuals in these roles leads to better oversight and accountability. However, shareholders voted against this proposal. Just over 23 million shares voted in favour, while more than 28 million voted against. So for now, the company will continue to have one person potentially holding both roles. This can be a point of concern for some investors who prefer more independent leadership. That covers the key votes from the annual meeting. Now let's step back and look at what all this means for Power Integrations. Power Integrations has a solid group of directors, approved by the majority of voters. However, it also appears that executive compensation is a growing concern. We can see this by the substantial amount of votes against the compensation packages. Finally, the shareholders decided not to split the office of chairman and CEO, going against more modern, possibly more lucrative corporate practices. Overall, Power Integration seems to be in a decent position. However, some investors might be concerned about executive pay and the decision to keep the chairman and CEO roles combined. This could be a potential risk factor to watch. Alright, that's our breakdown of Power Integration's latest filing. What's your take on these votes and what they mean for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.